So this will be a brief overview and kind of a companion for this SEO writing best practices doc. Um, the biggest thing to remember with SEO is that the user is kind of king. The user is the focus. So we want to do things that are useful and engaging for the reader. Uh, yeah, and if there's ever kind of a weighing of which direction to go with, a piece of writing in relation to SEO. It's always better to err on the side of making it more useful for the reader than making it more SEO friendly. Um, yeah, depending on your experience, you might have been taught that there are hard and fast SEO rules. Uh, it's not really the case anymore. There's nothing really set in stone. It's all about kind of a balance and focusing on a few kind of high priority rules. And those are kind of like the must-haves. And then most of the other things, they can be tweaked or modified a bit. Um, in terms of SEO, you know, it's about keywords. It's kind of keyword driven. Yes, and of course the keyword is part of a bigger whole of content, but each piece of content should be primarily targeted to one keyword, and that's what we're going to get to in terms of our primary keyword, which will be given to you before writing, and then you can get one or more secondary keywords, and these are kind of support keywords. Yeah, in terms of the primary keyword, it's and the secondary keyword, they've been researched. So, you know, uh, you're not, yeah, we need you to use at least the primary, and if you can work in secondaries, that just greatly improves kind of targeting and how much additional traffic we're put in front of, but also showing Google that the the post is comprehensive and legit. Yeah, and also those secondary keywords, they're usually related to the primary keyword, or they support it in some way just because they're relevant. So either it might have parts of the primary keyword, it might be a synonym of the primary keyword. It just might be additional content that people are looking up in addition to that piece of content. So instead of having a user go to multiple posts and things like that, it's kind of a one-stop uh, for all of the needs related to whatever they're searching for. Um, so in terms of usage, like I was saying, some things are flexible and other things are kind of like the priority. So in terms of priority, these are kind of the priorities for the primary keyword and where we want to see it used. So the SEO title, and let me just quickly show you. So the SEO title, most of the time, it shows up in Google as this, and within WordPress, uh, the SEO title could either be this title, or depending on if a plugin is being used, the SEO title could kind of override uh, this title, and it's filled in here. So uh, yeah, so SEO title keyword. Um, yeah, and then it's what shows up in Google along with the description. We'll get to that shortly. Um, so the SEO title, the main headline is let's just use. So in terms of WordPress, the main headline, it's usually this, uh, what we enter here. So it just depends, but let's see. So this is the SEO title, and this is the headline. So the headline is actually what you see on the page, and it might be the same. So that's that. That's the headline. And the SEO title you can see by hovering over. Uh, hovering over the top, and you'll see in this case it's the same except for the tech radar at the end. And then we can look at this one. So that's the SEO headline, the best fitness trackers, New York Times company, and then over here they just make it the best fitness trackers. So this is a case where they've set this different from this title. So SEO title, headline, which was the main headline of the post, and then the first sentence. And this is where we want to see these three are kind of the core. If we can get the keywords in there, you know, we've done most of the heavy lifting already, you know. And then there's another thing called it's pretty important now. Before it was kind of keyword density, now keyword prominence. So keyword prominence is basically showing that basically having the keyword early on in the piece of content, optimally right at the beginning. So let's go back to this example. So the search term was best fitness tracker, and in terms of keyword prominence, you can see best fitness tracker. So you can see the organic results. Keyword prominence is when your keyword is right at the beginning. You see, it's besides the that's at the beginning, it's at the beginning, it's at the beginning. So it's pretty common for particularly even competitive keywords that you would have the keyword right at the beginning of the actual SEO title or the headline. And also even in terms of paragraphs, headings, subheadings, kind of go over it over there and have another example. So yeah, back to the point of keyword prominence. Yeah, keyword prominence is kind of the new keyword density. You know, before you would go for certain percentages, and that basically turned out to be bad for the users just because people were stuffing keywords and then the content read horribly. So that kind of goes back to the first rule where just we want it useful, interesting, and engaging for the user. So right now, keyword density, how it's used, it's more to check if we've over optimized, if we've kind of went too far, not to kind of gauge if we did it enough. If you kind of follow the basic rules of using the primary keyword, SEO title, main headline, first sentence, you know, and then you know, sprinkled a few places throughout the post, and then some even using some synonyms in some cases. That kind of gets us where we need to be. It doesn't need to be overly done. You know, so there's no hard and fast, you know, do it 5 times, 8 times, because it's relative. So additional usage is kind of in the subheading. So those are kind of not the main headlines, but the kind of the additional headlines that you have that are secondary or tertiary, and in SEO they can also be used kind of as the outline and showing how the kind of the hierarchy exists. Just because in terms of SEO headlines, it starts with subheads. There's H2 to H6, and they follow a hierarchy that's nested. And within those subheadings, like if you can include the primary keyword once more and then secondary keywords within those subheadings, then again that helps kind of with the heavy lifting. But then also since it's in a subheading, it doesn't have to appear as much in the actual content itself. So let's see. In terms of keyword usage, there's just some information here about it. You can just read about it. You know, secondary keywords should be repeated 1 to 3 times. You might have a list of 10, you might pick 2 or 3. It might not always work to, repeat them 3 times each. So, one time is sometimes enough, just as the subheading, and the subheading goes towards that 1 to 3. Yeah, and again, come back to the user. That's kind of where we always want to err. So the SEO meta description, it's not directly related to SEO, but it helps with SEO, just because. Let me just show you. So the meta description, more than 50% of the time, the one that we enter shows up here, but Google can change it. They can modify it. They can sometimes take little bits and pieces from the page depending on what they think is most relevant. But we still want to define our meta description, and that within Yoast is here, and that ends up underneath the SEO title. So this would be the description, and in terms of it, we're not using keywords there really to go and use the keywords or increase the usage. We're mainly using it when we're mainly using the meta description kind of as an ad. It's kind of to increase clicks, just by showing that the post is relevant to whatever the user is searching for. And one way of showing that is by having the actual keyword that they search front and center. It's not always going to work, but sometimes it will. And you could also see Google, they bold the keywords or even synonyms, like Apple Watch is a popular fitness tracker, so they're highlighting that. Yeah, those little things make a difference. And in terms of getting more clicks on our result, it sends a signal to Google that the user thinks this is a relevant result for what they're searching for. So it could help boost us a few positions. And then after that, the content kind of takes over, because if they're kind of staying on the page, digging deep into it, it further kind of sends the point home to Google that, okay, they stayed on the page, they didn't come back and search for another result. So it's kind of this, there's multiple things working, but in the end, it's all to support the user. This kind of shows more specific keyword usage. I'm not going to go into that. You guys can read it, but it's basically, where. So it could be the title, the headline, the URL, the primary keyword. It shows you the priority. The secondary keyword, it shows you priority, and then just additional notes. Let's see. Yeah, and these are just additional SEO tips. This is kind of for you to review as well. It might not be the writer's job, but it could be that it could be that you have to find images and things like that, and it's just part of engagement as well. Just nice images. Internal linking also important. Outbound linking for a writer. This is also important, just because that's how the internet works. Quality pieces of content and quality sites that are authorities, they link out to other people. It's the reference system. Title modifiers, how you can modify keywords if needed. Content length is important, and LSI keywords, show you there. But yeah, you can basically find LSI keywords, which are basically other keywords that show up next to keywords, and you can usually find some to start here, but there's other ones that you can come up with, or you can see on other pieces of content that are ranking for it, but those are the quickest, easiest ones to find. Hope that helps. If there are any questions, reach out to me, Tim Livian. Thanks. Bye.